Hello and welcome to class. I'd like to just show you around the course and how to navigate the tabs and just some details about the class. You'll find all of this in the syllabus, but I'll try to add in a little more emphasis here and there to help you kind of know what especially pay attention to. Okay, so you're going to log on to Blackboard from either our home page if you're an ACTC student or from any place in KCTCS. Log on to Blackboard. And then you'll see a list of your courses, and I'm going to talk you through the College Algebra online course. And you'll see tabs along the left-hand side, the main tabs here. The first tab is announcements. I do communicate with you through announcements fairly often as I think of things that I'm getting emails about or just something I'm concerned about. I'll send you an email here or there. Everything's pretty much in the Start Here tab, the next tab that you could want to know. But always feel free to contact me. And like I said, I'll be sending you announcements here and there as well. All right, so in the Start Here, you will see the background information about how the class runs, the rules and how the grading goes, all the details behind the math. So I have a little intro here, and you'll have a place to introduce yourself as well. I hope you'll do that. The syllabus, of course, that's a very important one. You've got the syllabus, and then you've got the class schedule. I am going to click on the class schedule with you to show you what that looks like. If I were you, I would print this off. Or at least know it's there and make use of it. It is a handy way of seeing what's due when and seeing the overview of the course. I've tried to put all the details I could think of here for you. So this is the main outline of the course. So we'll be starting. Let me just kind of talk you through this. Again, all this is in the syllabus, but I'll make sure this is clear. The book starts with a chapter R, a review chapter, which I think is maybe some of the hardest stuff in the whole book. The review chapter takes in all of the side of what you need to know to get a good start in the college algebra that starts in chapter 1. So there's things like factoring and rational expressions, exponent rules, division, the integer rules, how to divide and multiply with negative numbers. So there's so much in there that's taken for granted when you start chapter 1 that I really like chapter R. And if you just came out of a prereq course for this, you may be real up on your algebra. But if it's in a little while or you struggled with any of your past classes, I really encourage you to start with chapter R. And I've made videos of each of the sections of chapter R to highlight kind of the prerequisite material for you to do well in this course. So that's where I would encourage you to start. Take some time with that. It is not required though, so it's not counted in your grading. It's optional material, and I'll be showing you that as we go along. But that's what I have listed here, the optional chapter R, and then the actual text of the course starts in chapter 1.1 with linear equations, which, like I said, is probably easier than anything in chapter R, and most of us feel semi-comfortable balancing equations and working on those. So that'll feel more familiar, I think, 1.1. So, but there'll come up things from chapter R like the factoring. It'll be helpful if you review that. So the first week, you'll be working on chapter R, and then 1.1 will be the required material. Homework 1.1 and then quiz 1A will be due the following Monday. Most of my deadlines are on Mondays. And you can talk to me about that. I had to pick a day, but Monday seemed like a good day. It gave you the weekend, and plus Monday morning if you needed to call me and talk to me about anything that's going on. We'd still have Monday to get things lined out. So due dates are usually on Monday. Now on the second week of work, the deadline is a Tuesday, and that's because of Labor Day. Labor Day is on a Monday, so I gave you until Tuesday, so if you wanted to take your Labor Day off. But again, most of the time the due date is Monday. So you just work through the material, and then there is a midterm exam. After you finish chapters 1 and 2, you will review for a midterm. There will be a provided study guide, and that is due on a Tuesday, October 22nd. Then, which is actually after your fall break. You can take it before or after, but there is a fall break included. And then we do the second half of the class, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, and then there's a couple sections, Chapter 5.1, and then Section 5.5, and that makes up your final exam. Now, I gave this a lot of thought, and I'll be interested in hearing your feedback, but in the past, I've just given one final exam that was comprehensive the whole semester, and that's really tough to do. So I've decided to break it up into two parts this time and give you a midterm exam and then a final exam. And the midterm just covers the 2 chapters, and the final covers the main 2 chapters and then the 2 sections of Chapter 5. So hopefully that'll be easier, but it does mean you'll have to make 2 trips to a proctoring center. So those exams, the main exams, midterm and final, are proctored exams, and those are taken at one of our home campuses, or we can make other arrangements if you are away from an option like that at a local library, or anyway, there are things that we can do. There's always a way to get a proctored exam, but there are proctoring centers on all of our KCTCS campuses and their offshoots. So you can usually find a proctor in that way if you are in Kentucky. So the main competencies are listed here. These are the things we promised to cover in this course, and that's why I've listed those here on the right side to say everything that you do in this course is for a reason. It covers a competency that's required in this class. Okay, so that's that. And then there's a syllabus quiz for you to take. A link is given here. It links over to the MyLabs Plus or MyLab. I don't know if you've done a course in the past that used this Pearson product, you might be familiar with it. If not, it kind of takes you through the course. But I've linked it into your Blackboard shell, so you can find those links here, or I'll show you another place to get to those as well. All right, so syllabus quiz. All right, so you'll take the syllabus quiz. That will be due the first Friday of classes. So next Friday, you need to have taken the syllabus quiz. That lets me know that you are active in the class and you haven't forgotten you signed up or whatever. We do have a process called Noshows, where if you do not make any contact with your instructor or log on online, you can be reported as a no-show. So by Friday, that helps me know you are active in the course. So make sure you've taken that syllabus quiz just as soon as possible. Then navigating the tabs, that's what we're doing now. I'll have that link here, so if you need to repeat it. E-learning orientation, if it's your first online class, you may want to look through this. The semester calendar, and then resources. I really like this student support services link. Students at ACTC find this very helpful. They do provide tutoring and resources to you, many resources. And I just wanted to encourage you as an online student that on-campus services are meant for you too. So don't feel like, hey, I'm not coming to campus, I'm not supposed to contact them. But you certainly are. You're just as much a part of our campus community as anyone taking online classes. So know that is for you, and please reach out to them if whether you need help or not. I think it's good to have that as an option, as a backup in case you do need help. So I'd encourage you to check that out. So that's kind of the rules and the options and the resources for the class. Now, so that's the main button. Start here. Once you're good with all of that, study that, the main part you'll probably hang out in is content. Content is where the class will take place. So we have Chapter R, which I mentioned earlier, is optional. So note this section is not official content for the class, it's optional. But I've added it here because it's so important. It's very helpful. If you have not been in a math class recently, or if you struggled with your past math classes, you really do need to start here. So when you click here, there are notes that go along with the book. Lots and lots of notes. When you see this icon, that's the textbook. That's the section you can read in the book. So that's static PDF file textbook. Then there are videos, and I really enjoy their videos. So you can just watch all the videos over every topic. And that's not me, but I do have some of my own personal videos. I'll show you that as we go. There are animations, and then there's PowerPoints. So there's various media to help you with the course. So read the textbook, watch the videos, watch the PowerPoints. These are the video icons. Here's another section, R.4, R.5. So they're divided into sections, R6 and watch as much of that as needed. So that shows up for each chapter that we do. You have this clickable notes. Also, down below, this is me. So you can also watch my personal videos that I've made. I do teach this class in person, so I have recorded some of my lectures, well actually all of my lectures, and I'm updating those along, you'll notice, but I have Chapter R, everything you should need to know for a good review. So watch those if at all possible in your time frame to get a good start. But what's very important, you'll see in this first tab, is I just want you to emulate the class setting before you start to do any work. You should always attend lecture before starting assignments. And I think we may forget that with online classes and just jump in to do the work, but you still need to emulate being in class. So I encourage you to do that by either reading the textbook, watching the videos, my personal videos, or the ones from the book, reading the PowerPoints, any of the supplements. Just find what works for you. But be sure that you take notes, just as if you were in class with me. So you take these notes, it will help you as you proceed. I promise that is very important. And then Chapter 1, that's where the official course material starts. So notes, just like before, we start there, take our notes, then the assignments after you've attended class. Then we have homework 1.1. It clicks you over to the book. There are 19 problems, and you'll have helps along the way within those problems if needed. If you have read your book and watched the examples, you may be able to get through these much quicker. So it really is time well spent if you'll do the prep work first. And then there's a quiz. So each week you'll have homework assignments and then a quiz over that week. And then the next week, and these due dates are listed, like we saw before, 1-2, 1-3 the following week, and then a quiz. Then 1-4, 1-5, 1-6 the third week, then a quiz, and so on. So that takes up your first chapter, how it's going to roll. So you do these intermediate quizzes every Monday. And that's what content looks like. And so you have Chapter 2. After you do Chapter 2, then you'll take your midterm. And like I said, I debated really hard about this. I hope you'll find this helpful, but you do have a midterm exam that's proctored. There's a study guide on this link. And all the problems on the test are taken from this study guide. And so you want to take good notes on that. And then when you take the midterm exam, it is proctored, so you do need to have a proctor that I've sent the password to put that in to take that exam. And all the rules about that are listed here. All right, and then you'll do the same thing for the final exam after Chapter 3, 4, and the 2 sections of 5. 6 is optional, and I said this for fun, so it's a weird math joke. But anyway, it might be something you want to look at some point. Then you'll take your final. So that's how content looks. Communication, there is various ways of communicating with each other and me. The discussion board lets you introduce yourself. You don't have to, but it's kind of nice to know who's in the class, so I encourage you to do that. And then questions, if you can interact with each other when you have questions, maybe set up, say, hey, I'm going to be in the library at 3 o'clock on a Monday. Anybody in class wants to meet me, let's make a study group. I would love that. I would come and attend if you wanted me to. We could work out a time. So I use that for you all to interact with each other as we go along, if that's something you're interested in. But you can always just send me an email as well. So that's in communication. My grades, your grades are determined on the MyLabs Plus link. The program that we're using has a grade book, and it updates, so you should always know your grade every day, how you're progressing. So the grades are on that. They do update on Blackboard as well, but my main focus is the MyLabs Plus program. You'll be able to see everything daily, how you're doing there. And that's this link. You can go directly to all your assignments. There's your e-text if you want to go to the book that way. It pulls up the full book. And you can page through or search for a page. So that is your online book. Oh, it's a little slow, but there's your book. Then the next tab has all your assignments, everything for the whole semester listed, but then it's also clickable like when we went through content, so you can go there. And then there's your grade book, so you should always know your grade calculation at any time. And then there's other supports as well as needed. And then you have a library link, help link, and so if you have any questions, you're mainly going to live here in content, or if you prefer using the MyLab link, If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Best wishes.